hello, and good day. I am back outside, which means I am back in the garage, and indeed I have found more things. Here, of course, is a power supply for a Commodore 128. And it's funny, because as I pull back on this 128, I see that some of the keys are yellowed. Some of the keys are not. It's very strange. But I don't know if maybe some of the keys that they had or got or did were prone to yellowing and some weren't. I don't know. But anyway, here it is. A Commodore 128. Another garage find with a power supply. I do not see a box at this moment, but the hunt continues. Hello, hello, here we are, continuing the search in the garage, and indeed, I have found a box. It is not for a Commodore 128, it is of course for a Commodore 64. And yes, it has a serial number. It does. According to this, I'm just looking here. I don't recognize the label as to where, but apparently the price was $148. And when we open the box, we find a Commodore 64 and a power supply. Imagine that. Well, I think we need to have a closer look. Alright, so I have flipped this over, and indeed, the serial number on the machine matches the serial number on the box. And it looks in, pretty good shape. So here is the top of the Commodore 64, freshly unearthed. It looks pretty fine. It might have a hint of, I wouldn't say necessarily yellowing, but discoloring on the top. Maybe yellowing. But I remember I was at one of the events, and I heard that sometimes people think that a 64 might have been sort of compromised or something been changed because the top and the bottom of the case don't exactly match in color. Well, yeah, sometimes they came out of the factory just like that, because sometimes the plastic didn't match in color. So anyway, I'm going to keep hunting through the garage here. So far, one Commodore 128 with a power supply, one Commodore 64 with a box and a power supply. See what else we find. When it came to power supplies, I very much liked the very first ones that had the vented, fixable, openable power supplies. But I guess my second choice, when they went to the bricks of epoxy where you couldn't do anything and everything was locked in tight unless you dug around and tried and hoped and prayed, I suppose this was my favorite just because it had such a bold, prominent chicken lips logo. Alright, the search and the hunt continue. Hello, hello. So I'm now a little bit into the garage here, and there are some monitors. I'm not sure how many. I can see 15 of them, and they're all, from what I know, from what I can tell, because they're all stacked so nicely, either the 1701 or the 1702 model. So there are, in front of me, there's a stack of 6 and a stack of 6 Oh, maybe there's a stack of 5. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I can see 15, but in behind a shelf here, there are more. There are more. See, oh, here's one. This was used. See, these monitors became very well liked and used in the television industry. Here's one that's marked Cam 2. Here's another one that's marked Cam 1. These were mighty fine monitors. Mighty fine indeed. And, oh, well, this one has paint on it. Anyway, the handles are great. They stack nice. They had great pictures. This is, oh, what do we got here? 1702. 1701. These monitors were and are fantastic. And, as I was saying, I have what I can find here, at least 15 that I can see, and more that I can't see. Hello there, I'm still in the garage, and I have found the manual for a Commodore program called Easy Script. It is. They did have nice graphics, but this looks like it's seen a little damage. But you know, who hasn't seen a little damage after all these years? The hunt continues. Well, hello. And here, also fresh from the garage, is computer facts technical service data for the Commodore 128D. And it does seem to be all there. I found a box. It has all kinds of magazines, as you will soon see. And here, indeed, is another magazine that I found in the garage. This one, of course, is talking, well, not completely, but it's about the time that the Commodore Executive 64, otherwise the SX64, was introduced. It was. And this is on the front of TPUG magazine, which at one point had a vast circulation. It did. That was after the Torpet. And that's a whole other story of what happened with the Torpet and TPUG, etc., etc., etc. But anyway, so here is, yes, an SX64. I have some of these. I was meaning to go through them and analyze them, but, you know, I got delayed. Shocking as that might be. But this is, yes, these were exciting times when the SX64 appeared. And it was not introduced in TPUG magazine. This was part of the report from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It was. Anyway, nice picture. It was taken by a photographer that, this is not a stock picture. This was done by, from what I know, somebody that they actually got to take pictures of things for the TPUG magazine. And this was from the March-April 1984 issue. Imagine that. Unfortunately, in the garage so far, I have not found any SX64s, but I'm still searching. And look here. Here, I have found a Torpet magazine. This was right around the time that the Torpet and TPUG went their separate ways, which, it was a mess. It was just a mess. Anyway, this is also around the time of Commodore's 25th anniversary, and, yes, this shows the TPUG membership and the Torpet circulation going way, 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 way up, I guess after they had separated. Anyway, it was a messy mess. It was. And, yeah. Anyway, but I do miss the World of Commodore show. It was a big celebration, and really thousands of people, if not tens of thousands, at the International Center in Toronto. The show continues. It is still put on by the Toronto Pet Users Group. It is. And it is the first weekend in December of every year. And if you're in the Toronto area, it's worth a trip to the world of Commodore. Anyway, back to the garage. Now here is a great picture. This is an ad from Proline, and it is introducing the Proline team, which consists of Brad Templeton, Jim Butterfield, and Steve Hunter. There they are in their football duds. This is epic. It is. And it is on the inside front cover of the the Torpet I just showed you. Whichever one that is. Anyway, as this ends up, there's other interesting things in this magazine. Here's some great literature telling you how to use a program called the 1541 Backup by some guy named David Bradley. Can you imagine? I had forgotten this was in here. But you know, I've been around. Alright, I'm still looking through things. Here is a column called TPUG's This and That by Doris Bradley, Assistant Business Manager of TPUG. Yes, indeed, that is my mother, who became involved after my brother and I saw that they were advertising for somebody, and we said, hey, why don't you give that a try? And sure enough, she did, and became very active, and actually, from what I remember, she became the 10,000th member of TPUG, as well as many other things. She really put in place the systems that made the office run.